There's a lot of confusion about COVID and the vaccines that are available right now. Until yesterday, I really didn't have a clue what was going on, and I tried doing a lot of research myself. I feel pretty aware, enough so to make a comfortable decision for myself, and even with as skeptical as I am of the vaccines, I'm hoping I can break that information down so that way whoever's getting this video can understand it and make an informed decision for you and your family as well. Unfortunately, because I'm making it so quickly after I learned about it, I'm having to use 3 analogies. I haven't had an opportunity to really compile it into a single analogy, but I'll try to make sure there's a complete understanding of whenever I'm switching gears. That way we don't lose anybody. Okay, the 3 vaccines I'm going to be talking about are the Johnson & Johnson single shot, which is a true vaccine. The Moderna, I may have even spelled that wrong, but I'm in a hurry. And lastly, the Pfizer. And both of the second ones are 2 shots. Naturally, everyone is drawn to the Johnson & Johnson because it is a single shot, but ease does not equate to good protection, and I'm going to get to that. Okay, first, vaccine. We all know a vaccine is supposed to be a dead or a weakened virus that is being injected into your body so that way the cells can attack it, recognize it, and make sure they're able to fight it off in the future. Kind of make the opposite puzzle pieces for it so that way they can break it down in the future. Now, everybody's concerned because, well, that's the way the Johnson & Johnson actually works. It does put a weakened virus or dead virus into your system. I'm not sure which one, but anyway, it does apply to the real vaccine. Now, the Moderna and the Pfizer it's technology that has been done for over 30 years, but this is the first time they've really applied it, and I'll get to that in a minute as to why they've done the mRNA route. But first off, let's just pretend for a minute that this is COVID. So let's pretend this is that little spiky round ball that we're all seeing pictures of from the microscopes. Okay, we have the entire, let's say, the spiky ball. In this case, it's a lot of different pieces making up a Lego helicopter. But the point is, whenever this gets in the cells of your body, it wreaks havoc. Now, is it this entire thing that's wreaking havoc? Because you know a virus works by going inside, injecting its RNA into the nucleus of the cell and replicating inside of the cell. It kind of takes over your system, you know, like a hostage system. And then your body has to figure out how to recognize, hey, there's foreign stuff here. We need to make the analogous parts for it and then figure out how to break it down. The parts to fight it are already there. We just don't have the instruction book. So here is this entire virus, and let's just say the dangerous part, the part that's sending everybody to the hospitals, is the orange brick. Okay, all of this other stuff is just the shape of the COVID, the covering of the COVID, that nice sweet sugar coating that makes it easy to latch on to the cells, and that's the reason it's so incredibly contagious. But let's just say the part that we're really worried about that makes for most of the complications is that little orange block. Okay, for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, pretty much what we're going to do and what a cell would have to do is we're going to take the vaccine, we're going to crush it up, and then we're going to inject this in. This is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Okay, your body then has to look at all of these parts, figure out, okay, let's put this together. We don't even know what this virus is supposed to be. So your body has to spend time putting it together, which I can't do. And then after they figure out how to put it together, they identify the dangerous part, and then the body has spent all of this time writing an instruction book. So the body has to write this instruction code, the RNA and DNAs. It has to write this code to be able to tell other cells within the body how to fight that, the antibodies, to be able to fight these little parts. And that's a problem with the Johnson & Johnson, is that all of this muddy water, as the doctor called it, you don't know how much of the effective piece is getting in there for your body to recognize it and figure out, hey, this is the point in the sequence where the dangerous part is supposed to fit. So, what's going on is with the Moderna vaccine, they take that step out. Of course, this involves taking the entire sequence and figuring out what is the dangerous part, this part. So, what the Moderna does is it skips all the Legos. It skips the Wella vaccine because you certainly don't want the nice, healthy COVID in you. It skips all the parts, the steps that are involved, and the nasty little dangerous part. And it goes straight into and injects the shorthand instructions already written into your cell, which your cell would have done, but the vaccine skips a couple of those steps and just makes sure you're paying attention to the dangerous part. Okay, so it's stuff that your body would already have done, but it skips several of the steps and makes sure that you recognize the dangerous part, not all of that other mush on the table. So that's where the mRNA comes in. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is what's inside of the coronavirus versus what is outside of the coronavirus. We've all seen the sticky ball, right? That is the vessel or the car that this is transported around on or inside of. The dangerous paperwork, the directions are being transported around inside of that little sticky ball, okay? Now, switching analogies here for a minute. Let's just say that the neighborhood is our environment. Your house is your body, and the people inside of your house are your organs. There's a bad guy in the neighborhood. We have an idea what he looks like. We're not sure, but we have an idea what he looks like. There's wanted posters out there. We know we're on the outlook for it. But let's just say that a stranger comes up. They come up on our porch. They come in the house. We can't welcome them or not welcome them. We can try with masks and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, your body is exposed to this. This stranger comes up, it's on your porch, in your body. It can then come in, and whether it is benign, like something like poison ivy or whatever, or it is something that is truly harmful, like coronavirus, then it can actually start attacking the people within the house or your organs. Okay, by that point, the simple fact that it's attacking the people in the house, you're pretty sure it's a problem. So while damage is being inflicted inside your house on the people, organs in the body, your body and the people in it are trying to fight it off as much and as quickly as possible, but it's already in a compromised state. Damage is being done at the same time as the fight is going on. That is how the Johnson & Johnson works. The mRNA and the entire virus is going to get in your body, which is on your porch, inside your house, and actually be within the cells. And at that point, within the cells, within the house, that's whenever the clothes come off, the gun comes out, and you recognize he's dangerous. Okay, because it is working on just the orange brick alone. Now, the way that the Moderna and the Pfizer work is they send out wanted posters of what the outside of this person, bad guy, virus looks like. So basically, whenever this thing comes in, you're not going to recognize it in your yard, but whenever it gets on your porch or in your body, unfortunately, it does make it that far, then you can recognize the damage. Organs and everything inside of the body goes into overdrive because they recognize it because of the exterior, and they fend it off hopefully before it can do any harm to the organs and really sit in and do a lot of damage within the house, within the body, to the organs and people inside. Okay, so the Johnson & Johnson, it's already inside of the house and doing damage before the cells recognize it. But the Moderna and the Pfizer, they have wanted posters and they know what the outside of the virus looks like. So, that being the case, whenever it comes to different strains, anything that falls under the guise of the corona type virus, the round sticky ball that we know about, your body is going to be more apt to recognize that as a bad guy and go into immune defense mode. There are implications that strains like Delta and some of the others are going to be included in the Moderna and the Pfizer. Notice I said implications, not assurances. Now, in all of these, one of the things to be sure of is just because you are vaccinated or have a shot that helps protect you against it doesn't mean that COVID can't get in your system, can't get inside of your body, can't get inside of your cells. You can still get it. That's the whole idea. Now, whether or not and how you know about it or how symptomatic you are depends on your immune system and how well your body fights it off, how healthy you are, how much energy you have, just your resting immune levels, and if you're immunocompromised. But obviously the antibodies can't really work and be called out. I mean, you're going to have a natural antibody level after having one of these vaccines, but they're really not going to be kicked into high gear until some of the cells report, hey, there's a bad guy, he's in the neighborhood, I recognized him, he's back, bring the guns out. Meet him on the porch, shoot him there. Which, the Moderna and the Pfizer are the shoot him on the porch kind of vaccines. The Johnson & Johnson actually lets him inside and he has to take his coat off before you recognize him. And by that point, you know, more damage can be done. Single shot, but is it worth it? Another thing to consider that we didn't know about is Moderna is, as of the 24th of August, has not been approved for minors under 18 years of age. So Pfizer is the only one that you can give to kids and I don't know how young that is, but to kids and adults. So Moderna is only for adults. It's still a couple weeks, couple months. Paperwork is still taking place. So that's something to consider. Even though we're skeptical about Pfizer because it's the one who politically dumped the most money into this. And I just don't like taking a virus that, any shots that have a lot of money backing them. But pride is a lot of fun to be around, but at the same time, it's not the one that's going to keep you company on your deathbed. So you got to make some hard decisions. Now, whenever it comes to conspiracy theories, swapping gears again, a lot of people, including me, are concerned about what else are they putting in this engineered vaccine. Okay, well, they've obviously broken down all of this chromosomal stuff in the DNA or the RNA of the virus to figure out this is the dangerous part. But have they broke down the entire thing? No. It was done so quickly that they really don't know all of this stuff, And that's one of the reasons that it is supposed to be just the dangerous part that we're being most protected from. They wanted to focus on that because, frankly, they didn't have time to work on it, all of this other stuff. Again, warp speed, we were trying to protect people from this, not all of this other stuff. That being said, we may not even know what this part is for on the virus yet. So, since it is so new, there is less likelihood of some other bad thing being attached to this, because naturally, and this is a reach, but just to blurt it out, let's just say, hey, they're also throwing in a program of let's make this person come down with cancer in their 60s or something like that. Let's just say something ridiculous like that. But, you know, I don't know what they're thinking of, because, you know, a patient is a customer. Sickness ensures job security. So the thing about sequencing the pieces to fight this is, anybody who's worked in genetics knows there's a certain order everything has to go in. You can't just plug it in. You can't stick this piece over here and make it work. You can't stick the orange piece over here on the tail and make it work. So let's just assume something that we're familiar with, like a phone. Something really long. We've got one piece adapter, really long, lots of stuff going on there. This piece, which we're going to say is the most important part, we're going to equate this to the orange piece, okay? The working part of what's being injected into us in the mRNA, Pfizer, Moderna vaccines, and all of this other stuff, okay? Well, the thing is let's just say they wanted to put something in, again, the cancer scenario or whatever. Okay, if we're going to plug the cancer in, or, again, I hate to use that because it sounds so ridiculous, but sometimes conspiracy theories can be ridiculous, so I'm just going to use that as my go-to. Well, if this is what is being injected into you, this part doesn't fit anywhere. Everything has to be in a proper sequence. So if something damaging was going to be put in, we would have to know enough about this entire lump to know where to put it. So we wouldn't be just putting this, we would have to be putting a lot more. I'm doing it backwards. We would have to know at least this much about it to be able to put the important part that protects you from the COVID, whatever connects it to whatever malicious or malevolent thing that they want to put in as well. So it's very, very unlikely that, at least at this point, they have had the opportunity to figure out anything bad to put in there for the conspiracy stuff. Now, that covers most of it. I can't think of anything else. I don't really know enough about all of this to answer any questions, and certainly if somebody wants to pick out, well, what about this? I'm not going to answer because I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know. Yes, my family did decide to go ahead and get vaccinated. I'm immunocompromised, even though I'm concerned about what the vaccine will do to me. I'm more concerned about what the entire unweakened virus will do to me. So the entire family, we did opt to go ahead and become vaccinated. I hope these analogies are clear. If the analogies are not clear, please let me know. I will try to work with you and help explain them better. But otherwise, this is just about the best I can do, and I hope it helps. God bless and have a good day.